Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Hello.
Cowabunga.
And
so, how do we feel, friends?
I feel like I'm entering the second week of Ramadan in that it's fast 8.
Yes. Yes.
I thought this one was better than the last one.
And it's also driving me insane.
Parts
as well.
of this I enjoyed. Women are one woman is person, kind of.
I disagree, but we'll get into this. We'll get into all of these things.
We'll get into
I'm mostly, what I'm thinking about is I'm metering to the end, right? We've got 3 more of these.
That's correct.
To go, and then the next one will come out, and we'll do that as a live show, I guess.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, we're almost done. We're almost done. Then we can get back to clearing up the last remnants, the last pieces of evidence we left behind for Heist season.
Exactly.
And then we can get on to something completely new. So I'm really excited for that. This
timeline-wise, we're so close to now. We're like just before COVID. It's 2017. All right, like Avengers: Infinity War was the next year.
It feels like it was made now.
Really? Was it? Wow.
Yeah.
It's in the long dream time of the now. You know,
yes,
like
definitely.
it's a real sort of like post-COVID Trump. Everything is happening all at once type thing. But so we begin with a bafflingly named production company logo, as we are informed that this movie was brought to us by One Race Productions.
I think that's Vin Diesel's production company.
Vin Diesel's production company for sure. Yeah.
Hey man, welcome to Race Wars production.
Welcome to Race Wars, gentlemen. Race Wars, we invented it.
You can't call it that, man.
This time is a slightly sort of pre-now setting because we're in Cuba. We're in Havana.
Yes.
We are. Yeah, this is a pre-now. This was during one of the extremely brief periods where the criminal American empire wasn't trying to kill every
the United
single
States
Cuban.
Of America? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
It was the Obama honeymoon.
It 17.
Was.
As part of that, one of the olive branches was
you're not a state sponsor of terror anymore.
Yeah, you're not a state sponsor of terror anymore. And we can sort of dignify you with the highest honor our country has the power to award, making 10 minutes of a Fast and Furious movie.
Dom Toretto is in your location at the start of a Fast and Furious movie.
Ambassador Toretto is there. Whereas now, listeners, you may know that the US has just shut off power to Cuba, and like everyone on a ventilator in Havana died as a result.
Yeah, making Marco Rubio Secretary of State means that they are going to try and do the Bay of Pigs again, and if not that, then the kind of long starvation of the special period and everything else. This movie isn't interested in that, even if it wasn't around for that, but it wasn't interested in any of the other stuff. What it's interested in is one of those sort of facts that too. We start with ass almost immediately.
Not quite, actually, because we do. This is where the movie begins to improve. So we get the kind of usual meat market shots of ass and midriff and so on. But before that, to introduce us to Havana, we get some shots of just normal Cubans. So we get a barber shop, and we get a health clinic. So we're not just saying Cuba has sexy ladies. Cuba just has normal people in it as well. I like that.
Cuba is a country.
Even the meat market ass and titty shots aren't quite as bad as they have been in previous installments. It's some improvement.
Certainly. They're also saying, isn't it cool how Cuba has all these old cars and they're not really examining that point?
Yes,
look at these sick old cars.
They just like them there for no reason.
Wow. That's what I was sort of getting to, is the kind of Top Gear ass fact of for some reason Cubans, well they do get into why, right? So in Cuba there are a number of 1950s American cars still running, and part of the reason why is because for almost all of its sort of post-revolutionary history, you couldn't import a car to Cuba in a way that made sense or that the US government would allow you to. And so Cubans have had to keep a lot of these Plymouths and Cadillacs and Fords and stuff running using whatever parts they can kind of scrounge together that can get through the blockade and the sanctions. And Dom inspects this for himself as this is, the one kind of car fact about Cuba. And he sees a guy putting a boat motor into an old Ford, and he says, "That's the Cuban spirit. Don't
That's the
ever
Cuban
lose
spirit.
that. So Dom is walking
Don't
a sort
examine
of
it.
fine line on the regime, right? Like Dom is sort of like, and it's interesting as well because you have to imagine that's not going to go down well in like Miami for one thing.
No.
But so long as you keep it vague enough to be like, this is the spirit of the Cuban people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can kind of slide it under the radar,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But so his cousin is getting his car towed because he can't pay a loan shark back. And because of that, this loan shark is going to make the baffling business decision to take the guy's car and export it to the US, which I guess you could maybe theoretically have done for like 2 months in 2017.
And it's a junker too. It's like a piece of shit car.
As his cousin says, I have the slowest car in Cuba, which will pay off later. But so Dom is like, I respect the loan sharking profession.
Yeah, he does actually. He says, yeah, if you make a deal, you should live up to it.
Because it's about a code of honor. It's about a code of honor, much like my code of honor. And the guy goes, you don't know shit, Dom Toretto, because unlike you, in Cuba, we live our lives 1/4 Cuban mile at a time.
Yes.
He makes the Cuban mile a different sort of like unit of measurement. He's like, no, in Cuba,
actually?
we race... No, but he says, in Cuba, we race the whole Cuban mile. Which is...
I love that. This movie does play on the 1/4 mile at a time in 2 lines, and neither of them hit in any way that makes any amount of sense whatsoever.
No, he's just like, here,
Really
we don't live a 1/4 mile at a time. We live 1 Cuban mile.
One
singular Cuban mile at a time, baby.
Yeah. And so Dom initially respects the loan shark, but then the loan shark is rude to Letty, and that's what pisses Dom off.
Yeah, and so Dom's like, I'll race you.
Yeah, he challenges him to a race. And the guy's like, okay, fine.
The little cousin is like, you can't race him. His car's the fastest car in Cuba.
The fastest car in Cuba.
My autistic Cuban cousin who has an encyclopedic knowledge of the speed of every car on the island of Cuba.
Yeah. He ranked from fastest to slowest.
It's a really like 76 type statistical anomaly that the fastest one and the slowest one would be parked next to each other. But you know,
you'd never imagine racing those 2 specific cars together. It's crazy.
But Dom is like, it's not about the car. It's about
the driver.
Dominic Toretto.
The car no longer matters at all. This is the Fast and Furious franchise has fallen now to the point where like cars aren't even, it's not even real. It's not even fucking real.
Well, it's like power levels in Dragon Ball Z.
If Dom Toretto wanted to, he could beat you with one of them hand carts that you have to like crank like a railway thing.
He could.
He'd be fine.
Dom Henry?
Well, because Dom is now like Cars Goku, and so his cousin Krillin is like, there's no way you could beat this guy. His power level's over 1 million, and Goku's like, I'm pure of heart. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
These used to be kind of enthusiast movies in the sense that they would at least throw the kind of stupid boy car numbers at you, of being like, oh, this is the 27.
This is a 15, 28, 95.
It does 440 on
whoa.
a 60 to 9 out of the 28.
Yeah.
4 days out of Sunday. And you'd be like,
all over
whoa. And now it's just like, this piece of shit's the slowest car in Cuba, but Dom is going to like beat this guy's ass with it.
Absolutely.
And so we get the inevitable like sexy lady starting the race, where she says, this is Havana. Unlike, just so you're catching up, you know,
this is Havana.
It's not Brazil.
This is not Brazil.
It's not London, where Rita Ora was Rita Ora farming.
Our sins have followed us home from London.
Or Russia, Glasgow, London, Spain.
This is Havana.
This is Havana.
And the way that they race 1 Cuban mile at a time is that the 2 cars race, but on each side they have a pair of powerful bike mages who drive ahead of them and then cast freeze traffic.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
They're safety conscious. I like that we're about illegal street racing again, because part of our criticism of the last movie was like, this is bullshit. Would you remember when we did illegal street races? Those were cool.
No one's doing anything illegal anymore.
I also wrote that down. Yeah, it's sort of like when a video game franchise, you have to like lose all of your powers at the start.
You know,
you know,
mandatory
work your
no
way back
equipment
up.
mission. Yeah.
Also, to be clear, when I do the powerful bike mages bit, it's because they drive up to block traffic and then throw their hand out like they're casting a spell in
Stop.
Yeah, it's
Skyrim,
cool.
which is very pleasing to me. But so Dom has installed some Cuban nitrous oxide in the car to do more Cuban miles per Cuban hour.
Yeah.
He does. He
The
calls
other
it the
thing that
Cuban
Dom
nitro.
has is the power of fast motion editing.
This is also
for
true.
sure he does. Yeah.
They do that so much in this one. It's a shame.
When he hits the Cuban nos, the guy's getting within like sort of, he's initially leading him, but Dom pulls up, and so the guy goes into his phone, ghost him. Now love bomb him. Now ghost him again.
Yeah. Yeah, because they do this maneuver they call the ghost, which is where
Reply with
somebody
a heart emoji, then don't text for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Have great chemistry with him. Set up a date, call in sick, and then don't reply for several months.
I'm doing that accidentally.
Yeah, same. I'm so busy. I'm leaving people on red. I'm forgetting I have left on red, and then I'm getting self-conscious and too embarrassed to message them again. So like, this guy's relatable to me.
Oh yeah, constantly.
Dom Toretto has OCD, and that's why he hasn't texted you back, because he has like moral OCD.
Well, I have ADHD, so like I forget and then we both get in our own heads about it, and neither of us text each other, and it's really bad for the relationship between me and Dominic Toretto. But I just if Dominic Toretto's listening, it's like I didn't
I know
forget.
you are, Dom.
I'm just like
if Dominic Toretto is listening,
I'm a huge fan of the pod. Dominic
Toretto is about to have a bad time because ghost him in this context turns out to mean don't heart reply one of his texts and then leave him on red for 3 weeks. It means
push a like a bike in front of him and try to kill him.
Yeah. He does try to murder
this
Dom.
man's life.
Mm-hmm.
Dom, you know what? Dom takes this on the chin. He turns the other cheek in a way that's quite incredible.
He respects the loan shark profession and its lack of honor way too much.
He ends up winning, but the car catches fire because of the NOS, and then he ends up having to drive it in reverse across the finish line and then bail out when the car flips into the sea. It's the
sort of 10 minutes of the thing where it's like, oh, Scrappy Street Racing is back, and then it's like, no, after that he has his like powers back.
Yeah.
He's done the race and now it's over. Yeah.
What is funny about this to me is that like we've established fairly canonically they've been keeping this car running since 1957, and then Dom Toretto does it for 10 minutes.
Fires it into the fucking ocean. Yeah, he's so fast that he goes past the finish line and then all the crowd rushes in because like everyone loves this shit.
Yeah.
It's back where like street racers are like superheroes to the people of Cuba.
Yeah,
this thing fires back like right off into the ocean.
Dom uses the Kamehameha.
A bunch of kids run over to him and he hefts one just experimentally.
In front
like he just
of
picks
Letty,
one up.
just be like,
baby,
what
about
these?
One of these?
Brian's got one. Brian's got two. Why don't
Brian
we
gets to have children. Where's my child, Dom Toretto?
The perfidious loan shark who has tried to murder him to avoid losing is like, a deal's a deal. You won my car, and you earned my respect.
Yeah, and he goes to hand it over, and it's got a big hanging Cuban flag on his fucking keys, and Dom looks at it and like strokes it with his thumb and then goes, "Keep your car. Your respect is enough for me."
Yay!
Do not look into what the US government's doing to Cuba now.
Yeah, let's just say like Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly. He's now on his friend. This is his Piccolo now.
Someday we'll fight again, Vegeta. Cuba Vegeta.
Yeah, he gives his cousin his car, which I guess his cousin now knows to be the second fastest car in Cuba.
Yeah.
It was briefly the third fastest, and then the fastest got flown off the end of the Malecon into the fucking Caribbean.
Briefly, that car was the first ever Italian astronaut.
There was an Italian guy in there.
I really do like that the editing has become so completely formulaic now that we do get to see the shot of him pushing the pedal down in the like barefoot in loafers. Pretty good. Pretty good. Fun little Cuban.
Pretty soon it's going to be those like orthopedic loafers that Biden wears. Like,
yeah.
Too fast, slow down.
Dom and Letty are in bed, and
this is where my notes say, no, leave her alone.
Yeah, they film a sex scene, but they because obviously both of these characters are so clearly not straight. The sex scene kind of slides off the camera, like it's like like water off a duck's back. Like it's hard to film.
Yeah, it's sort of like banging two action figures together, and she she's like, hey, so I got some big news for you. Oh, I'm not pregnant. And then he goes to like check with his hand. Like,
yeah, she goes, I'm not pregnant. And I was like, Michelle Rodriguez to the producers of Fast and Furious. I'm not fucking pregnant in this one.
Yeah. She's like,
you'll have to make me into a person. And I'm
don't
like,
Toretto me. But no, she's like, she raises the subject of having kids. She's like, I'm not saying I want them, and I'm not saying you want them, but just like, do we want to have that conversation at some point?
But now that we're not living in sin, you know.
Yeah.
So Dom goes to get his like Cuban sandwich, you know, with the like, you know, pork marinated in orange juice, really good.
Sick.
Cuban coffee.
I like this scene. Like Vin Diesel's legit like quite charming in this scene because he sees Charlize Theron with white lady dreads having engine trouble, and he stops to help her out.
Yeah, Charlize Theron, hello. The white lady dreads, inadvisable.
Yeah. Well, he's just the dialogue has improved a little bit as well. Like he seems like a normal guy in this. I kind of like this, you know.
He's a real person. He's wearing all white as well, which is very funny.
Yeah.
It's sort of the fantasy of like you gotta like help this woman with her car, and she plays kind of dumb about it for a second, and then he's like,
oh, it's a 7285. I saw these all the time back when I was in 742.
I don't know how to drive Dominic Toretto.
Dominic Toretto, how you doing?
Vine boom.
Got you, bitch.
It's like, hey, Dominic Toretto, everything about your life is predetermined by me. Did you notice how you had to walk 2 Cuban blocks to get your Cuban coffee? And how your Cuban coffee had like 10 fewer Cuban milliliters in it than before? I hope you're interested in this Cuban units of measurement bit, because I'm going to be doing it for all of them.
She says fate a lot in this, and I'm reminded that the original title of this was The Fate of the Furious. And they're already just pushing that.
That is the title of it, is it not?
Oh, it was listed as Fast and Furious 8 on.
No, it is the Fate of the Furious. I'm pretty sure.
She pulls the same move The Rock pulled on him previously, but less affably, where she's like, "You're gonna like beg to work for me when you see this information," and then they forgot to film that scene. So
when you see this, and it's like scene missing. Okay, well, I guess it's something. We'll find out.
Blackmail material to be shot.
Yeah. She shows him something on her phone, and he's like, I mean, I don't have 2 hours, but a documentary about conversion therapy does sound interesting. And then she's like, no, sorry, the other thing. Flip over to this.
Trying to show something on her phone, and he's like, look, I can't. It's kind of bright out. Can you?
Trying to show him something on her phone, and he's like trying to scrub through, and then it slides off, and then it's like, oh, the Face ID's on. Can you do? Also, he just keeps her phone, which is I kind of like. Anyway,
like it. That phone, by the way, an iPhone.
Yeah. It's the police sketch artist from Bob LaFlambeau, and he's like, is that furry porn? I'm not, what?
So we get a long walk up to the most obvious joke reveal possible.
Yes, we do.
From like frame 1 of this, Beck goes, he's at his daughter's Little League game.
Yeah, because The Rock has activated comedy mode, and I'm like, oh, there we go.
I like The Rock is a funny and charming actor, and here has, I would say, a like millimeter wave goatee. It's getting like
really
you can
funny.
cut like glass with this.
Is that a regular millimeter or a Cuban?
Cuban.
1 Cuban millimeter.
1 Cuban millimeter. Oh. This is gonna be
like
great.
1 Cuban millimeter at a time.
Takes a long walk up while he's giving this kind of like pseudo military speech, and it's like he's coaching his daughter's
football game,
and he leads them in the haka too, which I really like. That's really nice.
They do a haka. Really fun to just like do a haka when you're like just an American football team and your coach happens to be Samoan. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's good to see the white girls in there who are like, I get to do this. Yay.
Yeah.
Conversely, the white girls on the opposite side who are baffled.
Who are dressed in pink, by the way, to be like, those are real girls. Those are like actual girls.
Yeah.
Whereas the Rock's kid.
The team names are the Red Dragons and the Pink Butterflies.
Yeah, right?
What the fuck does that say about femininity, do we think?
Yeah. Women, Welsh.
Yeah. So
or Mexican?
Like, of course, the one sort of like no one we know or care about, but some Fed comes to find The Rock while he's like coaching the game, and is like, Mr. The Rock, we're gonna need you to do, because we got a Class 9 Delta fucking WMD oopsie.
They stole
there's an EMP that's been stolen by terrorists in Germany, and The Rock's like, I don't care about that.
That could turn all the lights off in a city. And they're like, I'm like, that was what the device 4 movies ago could have done.
Yeah.
You're just doing the same fucking thing over and over.
Yeah, we need the lights on.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. But so The Rock coerces him into making him cheer for his girls' soccer team, and then by popular demand, we forego even more of the putting the team together sequence.
There's some important information there. So
the team together.
This fed is like, you gotta go get the EMP device. You'll need a crew, and you'll get no government support this time. So if you're caught, you go to prison.
Okay,
that's important.
Right.
The secretary will disavow all knowledge of your activities.
We'll be like, who's this guy? I don't know who The Rock is. I took the liberty of assembling the team off screen.
Yeah, because we know you don't care about this. This would be genuinely, I think, a little hard to follow if you hadn't been up on your Fast and Furious lore. Like, if you came in at this one,
how are you supposed to understand this if you hadn't just watched all of the last Fast and Furious movies relatively back to back?
Yeah,
who the fuck is going in on Fast 8 from scratch? Like,
some of my partners,
but years hence.
Genuinely, I think my girlfriend has now seen blank Fast 5 blank Fast 8. Like,
is that a regular girlfriend or Cuban girlfriend?
Oh well, I mean,
I live my life one Cuban girlfriend at a time.
I wish I lived my life one Cuban girlfriend at a time, if not more.
No, you don't. You're polyamorous.
Yeah, but like, I wish more of them were Cuban. I wish more of them were Cuban.
You could have one Cuban girlfriend and then a girlfriend of other nationalities.
The government is limiting me to one Cuban girlfriend.
You've
maximum.
had that same girlfriend since the 1950s, and you've kept her going.
Yeah, I mean,
passed down from fathers.
This is the fastest girlfriend in Cuba. So, no, I'm not thrilled about that one. Anyway, we do some banter, and here's the really funny thing: is it's sort of like how comedians are more successful as more of their jokes get to be about travel.
Mm-hmm.
The screenwriters are getting old because The Rock does a prostate exam joke. In this.
Yeah, funny.
And it's like, oh, you guys just had your first one of those, huh? Like hitting the 40s, mid 40s.
Thinking about this.
Like,
you got a young daughter. First ever prostate exam. Interesting. We're the only people that could possibly be watching the movie as well.
Yeah.
But we just go like, whatever. It's going on now. We just cut to Berlin while it's happening.
Yeah, where the crew are all there, are being chased.
Yeah,
they use a wrecking ball, and they definitely kill some of these goons.
They definitely kill some of these goons.
So many guys, yeah.
Yeah, German cops can die. Write that down. German cops can die.
They're like corrupt cops. Or there's some kind of hand wave about who they are.
We get everything that Roman is going to do for the entire rest of the movie because Tej goes, "We're going to phase 2," and Roman responds, "Phase 2? That's what we're doing now? What happened to phase 1?" And that's all he ever says is just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really enjoyed Roman Pierce in one of these movies.
Roman Pierce in the one he was introduced in Fast 2.
You know, a character, and it wasn't just the kind of
whatever.
Yeah.
This isn't an insensitive racial comparison, but like he's basically just Jar Jar fucking Binks of the Fast and Furious franchise now, except he does kill people later on.
He is just kind of there for the comic relief. Yeah.
He's just there to be there.
Yeah.
I guess third billing at this point, just because like Paul Walker's dead.
But the plan, as best I can tell, is ludicrous, or as he now is more like Cudicrous.
Nice.
It drops a wrecking ball on a bunch of German cops. And then
came in like a wrecking ball. Interesting.
Dom is now evil Dom, and you can tell because he's trying to frown, and the Botox is fighting it.
Yeah.
One line.
Yeah. Also, he's wearing a black T-shirt now. Dom has come under the influence of the Venom symbiote, and his teammates haven't yet noticed.
Yeah. They're like halfway through the heist, and he looks over to Letty in her car and goes, "I'll see you when it's done," and drives off. And I'm like, unbelievably ominous thing to say to me, honey.
Kind of a Welsh accent.
Also,
there.
if they were in like, really loud cars, if he's in like his iconic Dodge, she should have gone, "What?" Yeah, like, huh? There wasn't a radio. He just like said that under his breath. Yeah.
He's not got his BDS Dodge Challenger in this one because he's evil. So
yeah, he betrays the Rock in the Zionist Challenger by like ramming the Rock's like incredibly heavy armored vehicle off the road.
Yeah.
And then taking the thing, and the Rock's like, yo, don't do that because I'm going to have to chase you, and it's going to start the plot of Fate of the Furious.
The Rock is trying to forgive him actively while he's being betrayed. The Rock is just like,
really good.
It's
This is
okay,
how you
brother,
should
don't
be.
worry about it. It's all
This
fine.
is kind of Christ-like, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
maybe the Rock is car Jesus in this one.
And Vin Diesel says, warum probierst du ab jetzt nicht mal Han seinem Glück aus? Dort bekommst du einen Double Smashburger und Pommes für 2,99. Schwuchtel.
Yeah, you can do.
That.
Yeah, and it's weird that he says that.
and Dwayne The Rock Johnson responds, it's okay, brother, I forgive you, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're making the choice, walk it out now.
Yeah, we get the kind of trailer line where he's like, Dominic Toretto just went rogue, which spawns in
Trailer
1
line,
million cops.
Yeah. If we're still in the cars when security does the next sweep, we're all going to German prison.
Yeah, Dom drives to what I at first take to be another runway that's infinity Cuban miles long. But in fact, it's only like 1 Cuban mile long, to be honest. Because
barely a Cuban mile long. He does the like short version.
The plane picks him up like a fucking Uber, right? Like,
yeah.
It like barely touches down. He goes whoop, and it's straight up.
Uber cargo plane? Oh, that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, he drives in the back of the plane and they just go, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really funny for the German cops because they kind of like pull to a stop. It's like, so, Hans, do you have flight radar on your phone? Do you want to see where he's going?
It's like American cops when you cross the county line or whatever. They're just like, oh, well, nothing we can do. Hands up.
Yeah. But The Rock gets arrested, and this is moving along so quickly, but like so is the movie, right? Like
there is a strange thing that happens here where, like, I know that Netflix is known
keeping pace with the movie.
Netflix is known for this thing where characters will summarize what's just happened because of like second screen experience, but this wasn't a Netflix production, and yet Ramsey does just like summarize the previous like 20 minutes of movie at this point.
They're losing faith in their audience, and they're losing faith in their audience because of data, you know? Like they know what they're doing. It's very like anyway, they're taking The Rock to Ultramax prison, which is like Supermax, but if you're cooler.
It's like Supermax, but everyone is the size of The Rock. It's like the biggest guy prison I've ever seen.
Super villain prison? Yeah, from the super like the dimensional super prison from Fantastic Four. Like,
Due to the sort of right wing of the Labour Party, all trans women will now, if getting arrested, be sent to the massive dudes prison.
We're sending you only to the prison where, like, typically when you're about to be sent to that, you're going 15,000 years. Take these chains off and say that again. Yeah.
It's like The Rock. It's like 50 other MMA and wrestling guys, and then one like 90-pound trans woman named Lily who leafleted for an anarchist thing one time in Texas.
Yeah, and like Galactus.
She's cell-sharing with Bane. They're actually getting along great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean Bane's learning a lot about himself, I think.
Bane's replacing the Venom formula with estrogen.
Yeah. So Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell, the CIA guy. I feel badly about doing all the like trans prison jokes, given that it makes me like homicidally angry. But
it's the worst thing that we're currently. It's one of what? It's not even the worst thing. It's one of the worst things that our state is currently doing to people.
Thanks, Labour government.
But so, Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell, the CIA guy, right?
I'm so baffled that Kurt Russell is alive in this one.
Yeah.
Didn't he die?
I don't know.
No, he was. He got shot. Yeah, but he was fine because he got like CIA medicine. Anyway,
fine.
He's there. He's still kind of like inexplicably the good guy, and he brought a Paul Walker with him.
He's got a little fucking like.
He's got a sidekick. He's got a Padawan.
He's got a
like
homunculus Paul Walker with him. Like what?
He's like, I brought best value Chris Evans.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be. In the
Chris
movie.
Evans.
He's going to be
Scott Eastwood, who I recognize from some movies.
Why is this character... No shade of the actor. Why is this character in the film?
What is the point of him?
Well, the main point of him is to be the kind of filling out the room thing that Paul Walker was doing.
This is
you gotta make some
100%,
efficiencies,
right? He's just Brian. He's just Brian too, because he's like, I'm a CIA guy, but I'm like on your side now,
and I'm cool and I like cars.
Brian too, like the Family Guy dog. Anyway,
Brian too. The sequel to
The Rock tries to like emasculate him by being like, what boy band bus did she fall out of? Which, okay, sure, whatever, you're mixing up your transphobia.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, okay, you want to go to prison, you don't want to sort of like work for us and take the deal we're offering, which is to like be a deniable like CIA asset. That's fine, but what about your daughter? And there is an actual vine boom.
Like, what about your daughter? It's like, obviously, The Rock immediately lifts this guy up because he's functionally indistinguishable from the Hulk in this, right? But Mr. Nobody's like, oh, you've got to forgive him. He's just reading from the manual, which...
CIA manual says to threaten people's families?
I mean, it is in the manual for sure, but it's just crazy to put that in the movie.
Yeah. But so the Rock then walks into prison having like busted out of his own handcuffs.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna play by the rules.
Yeah.
Every single guy in there who is, let me be clear, 6'4", 250 pounds, 2% body fat, half the size of The Rock is like, I'm gonna fuck you up, The Rock.
I'm gonna kill you, The Rock.
The Scarecrow is there, like Carnage is there,
just rattling the bars.
The new absolute Black Canary's there. She's looking fucking shredded.
They're gonna kill him because he's a cop, but also he's like barely a cop. And he's
like,
huge.
is that what he's doing?
Yeah, these guys who are like
so
half his size are like, I'm gonna fuck you up. It's like, I don't think you are, man.
But he gets in the cell, and in the cell opposite.
Yes!
In the cell opposite
is Frank Transporter.
I'm glad they're affirming Frank Transporter's gender and putting him in the men's prison. But so Frank Transporter is like, listen, you want to get out of here? It's 38 Cuban feet of steel and concrete.
Yeah. I love that he taunts him. Yeah, the taunting between the two of them is so good. I really like it.
It is good and fine, but the only problem is that this scene directly led to the immediate following movie Hobbs and Shaw, where like the producers were like, these guys have got some chemistry, haven't they? So it's hard for me to get excited about.
Yeah, I sort of feel the opposite way in that, like, because they're like locked facing each other, what they're doing is almost exactly just cutting a wrestling promo. Because The Rock is a wrestler, and because Jason Statham has that dog in him, right? Like, this is genuinely quite good because it gets into camp. This is the only bit I'm like sitting up in my chair. I'm like, these two actually have a little bit of something going on.
They're good together. It's funny.
Fun.
Yeah.
So back on Charlize Theron's plane.
He holds up Frank Transporter's like, all right, you read this Dostoevsky, mate? Just finished it off now. I've come to a newfound love for God and mankind, and I've resigned myself to my suffering that I'm now living out in peaceful solitude, mate. And Rock's like, cool, that sounds good. I'll do that too. Yeah. He's completely redeemed, by the way, Frank Transporter in this movie.
We love Frank Transporter.
Like, he's actually fully redeemed. I guess he did it off screen. I don't know.
Yeah. This franchise is like one Goku and 17 Vegetas.
This is canonical to me, is that he just
like
did
the
read
New
Dostoevsky in
Testament.
prison, and now he's just fine. He's like fine again now.
He's cool,
Yeah.
So we go to the high-tech super plane where Dom is meeting Charlize Theron.
She's got a sidekick.
She does,
my fucking God.
And that sidekick's name
2017 motherfucker. I don't even remember what his name is. You'll know him as...
It's Christopher Hivier, but he's like the man who was not allowed to change his haircut in between seasons of Game of Thrones.
Hey, it's Tormund Giant Spain, baby. Have you seen Tormund Giant Spain?
Oh, he's like, I thought he had a Game of Thrones face. He's a Game of Thrones alum. Hey, all right.
It's not just a Game of Thrones face. He's got a Game of Thrones haircut and beard. He's almost still wearing a fucking cape.
Because he's between seasons and he can't know. That's really funny.
All he does in this movie is look at people and like you just feel the producer being like, Tormund, Game of Thrones. See?
Yeah. Like, every time it cuts to him, you're just hearing quietly like dun 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 dun.
He doesn't do anything.
And because he can't afford to. Because like, if you break your leg or like tear your ACL or whatever, that's Game of Thrones. Torbjorn Game of Thrones has an alarm on his phone and like his Apple Watch that is like, you gotta get back to set any second.
His heart rate goes above like 65. He's got D&D on the fucking phone being like, you cannot get injured. We have another 2 seasons of you going, the big woman's sexy to me for you to fucking film, all right? Get back in the cage.
Is this a good time for me to reveal that of the three of us, I am the one who has never seen Game of Thrones?
I saw season 1,
You should read
I guess.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
I have never seen any of Game of Thrones.
The first couple of seasons are fine.
I saw the first couple and I got
And that
bored.
was deliberate, so that when I went into my audition, I wouldn't give them something they'd seen before.
Anyhow, tell you what, seems to have worked.
It fucking worked, because the first thing Ryan said to me was, we want this character to be different than anything we've seen before. And I was like, oh, perfect.
So fucking like Torbjorn Giantsbane, right, isn't allowed to change his haircut, which means they had to dial up the haircut weirdness for Charlize Theron, which is why she's got the white girl dreads.
Yeah,
she's got the white girl dreads, but for some reason it's been put into like a kind of I'm about to get married style, like Celtic braids arraignment behind.
Matrix 2 style braids.
To be fair, Dom also hasn't changed his haircut on account of he doesn't have one.
I was excited when we saw Christopher Hivju in Order of Disappearance, right? Because he was being an actor in that fucking movie.
He got
whereas in this one,
on a shovel,
he is literally just Tormund Giantsbane standing in the corner of the Charlize Theron scenes. And it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, he may as well just be on his phone. They don't need him for this.
They're like, we got him. Anyway.
Torbjorn fucking Irons, Brian Giant. Like, that guy.
There he is. See him?
So Charlize Theron actually gets to be a person in this one. Like, she has a critique of Dom. She's like, hey, you're all about family, but what are you, fucking cars Goku? Like, you like the action, you like the cars, you want freedom, not attachment. Why did you let that Cuban guy go earlier on? And Dom's like, it's about family.
Dom's like, you didn't understand what I was doing with the Cuban guy, did you? Okay, listen to me. No. I changed him when I did that. I could have taken his car,
Jesus.
But now he's going to be my... I've Pauline converted my man. He's on the road to Damascus right now.
Yeah. The road to Havana.
Someday we'll fight again.
He's on the road to Havana.
When I need him on planet Namek, he'll be there.
Yeah.
When I need him.
And she's like, no, listen, you live for like, and she says the 10 seconds between start and finish, which no wonder Letty's not pregnant. And then
the
says
quarter mile.
Well, literally her line is, why live 1/4 mile at a time when you can live your whole life that way? When the original line was, I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
Also, the only person who ever heard Dominic Toretto say that is now dead. So how does...
He's gone. Why did he say that? Why is everyone saying this to him? He's going, this is crazy.
Dom's like, did you watch the previous movies?
I also do want to be a little mean. Sure, she's a character, but the family shit is so ingrained now at this point that in order to be a Fast and Furious villain, your motivation has to be family's bullshit, by the way, Dom Toretto.
Yeah, it's the same as Luke Evans. Yeah, it's the same ideology as Luke Evans. But it's nice that a woman gets to have a perspective.
Family's awful.
Yeah. I hate family.
I hate family.
She has this stuff later on where she's like, family's just chemicals in your brain, Dominic Toretto. You should be Sigma like me. And Dom's like, woo.
So we cut back to the Ultramax wrestling promo where The Rock's final line is, he threatens to beat Jason Statham's ass like a Cherokee drum, and you get a 2-second mid shot of Jason Statham's character visually trying to think of something not racist to say about that.
Yeah.
And the doors pop open.
Yeah.
This is great, by the way, because you get a real like kind of dogs that have been barking at each other type
I do
thing.
love that shit.
Yeah.
They're like, I would kill you if I could, and then the doors open and they both go, And The Rock refuses to get out. He he stares directly at the security camera and delivers, and God, he tries to deliver a line, but I don't know if anyone could do it. I said, no, Mr. Nobody. I'm doing this the right way. You're like, cool, man.
I
awesome.
am the cavalry.
I am the cavalry.
What this leads to is they end up escaping anyway, but they're on separate floors. So like The Rock is like wrestling on one floor, and Frank Transporter is transporting on the floor below him. And
they're on 2 levels. It's kind of sick.
He's doing parkour and martial arts. It's sick.
Sadly sick. Yeah,
it is cool.
Yeah.
The Rock does stab a guy in self-defense.
Cockney martial arts. Parkour, blimey.
The stunt team knows that they made $1 billion on the last movie and want to try to make $1 billion again. And you know what? They're fucking putting their all into it. And I can't... I'll get into this later. But I love the stunt. The stunt team are fine. The stunt team do everything right.
Can you believe that at this time in Hollywood there was no Oscar for best stunts?
That's crazy.
Really?
That's new. That's new.
At
it's
least
very new,
one movie in the franchise should have had it.
They should get the Oscar
absolutely.
for most cars destroyed.
They bust out of the thing, and Kurt Russell's like, "Great, come to the next scene with me." Completely perfunctory. Kurt Russell once again does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Legend. So they go to the undisclosed location.
The whole crew are there.
Yeah. They've arrested all of them.
Hey, I've gathered the crew, by the way.
Taking the liberty of arresting your entire crew. Where they identify Charlize Theron as Cipher or Le Chiffre in French.
Interesting.
Oh shit! Is that? Oh, I didn't know that.
I wish I had my drops for this, because there's a really funny bit where getting to grips with the idea of a woman being Cipher, I think it's Ludacris says they or she, which is just a really good moment of
They
pronouns.
thought Cipher was a group, and then it's like, no, it's one person.
Yeah.
Also, at one point, Ramsey says everyone's afraid of the hacker group Anonymous, but even Anonymous won't mess with her. And it's like, okay.
It's Ramsey. It's Natalie Emmanuel. I love you, babe. They give her all of these fucking lines about
Stupid
computers,
lines.
and they all clunk so hard. It's such a
it's
shame.
not her fault.
I'm back to falling asleep, and then my attention goes back up when The Rock and Jason Statham are in the room, and they cut more wrestling promos.
Yeah, because
Like,
they're like, and by the way, Frank Transporter will help you on this mission. It's like, yes, another
Yeah, it's
Vegeta.
like, okay, sick. I'm forcing you to add Frank to your family right now. It's like, okay,
The
fine.
Rock calls him this tea and crumpets eating criminal some bitch, and I'm like,
yeah, to which she responds, he's got a big mouth on a small head. This movie needed a wrestling heel so badly.
Yeah, it
like,
did.
Once it became Hamburger Shonen, it really needed that guy. And Jason Statham is single-handedly rescuing the franchise here.
Honestly,
Frank Transporter's like, Cypher's the one who put my brother Luke Evans up to the evil plot he did in Fast and Furious 6. I don't care about any of you, but if I can get back at her, then I'll do it. My Welsh brother.
My Welsh brother, Luke Evans.
Who you put in hospital, by the way.
What does their mum sound like? We'll find out.
Remember when I killed so many people in a hospital? Yeah.
Remember when I killed fucking Han, by the way?
Shit! Oh shit! You're right. Yeah, remember when I murdered Han?
Ludacris uses his like super intelligence to remember something that happened last movie and goes,
"This is Roman, right?" Because I wrote
Oh,
down Roman. Roman goes,
is.
"Why don't we use the identigraph?"
Yeah, he does. Fuck. Yeah, okay.
And they go, "Okay, yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll try the
We'll give it a go."
identigraph."
And Dom's location, as they pop it into the like, the identigraph.
Who is Dom Toretto? Where does he live? And
pops up in like one place and then another and 50, and I'm thinking, okay, they cloned Dom. Unto every
Dom
nation
army.
is granted a Dom Toretto. It's like Batman. Like Batman Inc. There's like Brazilian Dom. There's like a Cuban Dom. We thought we've been seeing the same Dom every time, but it's more of a kind of like a prestige type situation.
The boys from Brazil, but this is Brazil.
Second podcast of the same day I've used the phrase a prestige type situation in. They should put me
There's a
down.
lot of prestige type situations going on. Fast and Furious 12, and there's like 50 clones of Vin Diesel, and that's what they're fighting. Let's go.
Crisis on
go,
Infinite
baby.
Doms? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's because Cypher's hacked the
Bottom
thing, so they
shortage.
reverse hack it then easily straight away. And then they're like, oh, now it's only showing one. And they're like, that's weird. It's showing that he's here.
It says undisclosed location.
Yeah, they reverse de-hack the fucking thing because it like it pings 1,000 people and like they reassure Roman, which is very nice. Mr. Nobody goes, we thought of that first as well, buddy, but it was a good idea. And then Natalie Emmanuel Ramsey, who is going to remain in these fucking movies apparently, goes, what if we just like, okay, so it's pinging us, what if we like reverse triple unhacked it? And they go,
cool, whatever, do it straight away.
Narrow it down to one, whatever.
And he's here.
And Mr. Nobody goes, that's interesting, because that's here.
It says undisclosed location. And Dom then discloses the fuck out of that location.
Yeah, boom. They blow it up. Charlize Theron and Vin Diesel attack.
Some more bombs, yeah.
With stun grenades, yeah.
The thing about God's Eye is that it seems to have been in these movies primarily used only to find a guy who is also trying to find you and is usually like on your doorstep.
Like Grindr.
Yeah. Speaking of Crisis on Infinite Doms, let me fucking tell you.
Yeah, don't tell you. So Charlize Theron tells Dom, hey, isn't it kind of weird that they just replaced you with another bald guy instantly?
Yeah. Isn't that
the guy who killed your best friend?
Yeah, and that guy's Brian. So, like, what's
that
up
guy's
with this?
clearly just Brian, so what are we doing?
You're like interchangeable parts. You're like the kids in Snowpiercer, dude. Like, you're
this
like,
is crazy.
Yeah, do you want to make out? Do you want to make out about it? Like,
yeah, they steal the God's Eye and then she kisses him.
So that Letty in front of Letty and God and everyone?
Mm-hmm. And his eye.
Fucked up.
So like they escape, and as they're putting their shit back together, the gang are like, well, we can't tell Brian or ask Brian for help because Brian is retired. He went to live on a farm upstate.
They give Michelle the line. She's like, we promised we weren't gonna call him.
My notes say we agreed we wouldn't bring Paul Walker back into these movies on the grounds that he's dead.
They did promise that they wouldn't inflict any more like Fast and Furious type bullshit on him, and this is some Fast and Furious type bullshit. Raw deal for Mia?
Yeah, that's what my notes say.
We're not bringing Mia back either.
You think that Dominic Toretto's sister might be helpful in this scenario as somebody who knows him and grew up with him and can maybe explain his state of mind? But no, apparently not. No. I hope she comes back in later movies. I'm like,
God, I hope she comes back.
Oh, come on.
They all will. Everyone. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be like by the end of this fucking movie, I wrote down everyone is here because every single fucker we've ever seen gets a cameo.
Yeah,
it'll be like that bit in fucking the Doctor Who one where Peter Capaldi's eyes were in it.
So like we go back to Cipher's plane, and she's like.
Yes.
And Dom's like having a sort of crash out because he's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, here's some more of my deal. It's called choice theory. Have you heard of that? It's when you make choices. And here's a choice. The rest of the scene is going to be, we kidnapped Elena.
Remember Elena?
Right. They go. We get back to her and she goes, okay, it's time to remind you of the thing that I showed you at the start of this movie that we didn't film. Elena, we got her, baby. She's still in the fucking Fast and Furious movies and she's in a cage. And this is really interesting. She's got your son, Vin Diesel. Whoa, you got a little baby now as well. Family.
Never told Letty you got Elena pregnant while she was dead.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
That's convenient, but a little confusing because that kid's 3. Like,
they directly. He instantly goes to where Elena and the baby are. They're on the plane, and she directly makes sure to be like, "I found out I was pregnant after." Remember the part where Hobbs came to get you while we were living together for Fast and Furious 5? I found that out exactly then, and she says that to the camera.
I didn't tell you because you were so wrapped up in the events of Fast and Furious 5, and then Letty was alive again. And I didn't want to upset you. So I went away and I didn't want to get in the way of you and Letty's reunion. So I went away and just gave birth on my own and did all the childcare myself.
She pulls out a big diagram and she goes, look, it was at this point, right?
So like at the same time Tokyo Drift was happening, this kid was having his first 3 birthdays.
Like, dude was like, where was Han alive? No, I don't know.
Yeah. In this one, Ganondorf actually won. And so there's like a different future.
I can't stress enough, right? The weirdness of the age of this kid within that chronology. Like, I'm an only child, right? I have a relatively small family, so annoyingly my only real reference point for kid ages is The Sims, and that motherfucker is about to age up into being a toddler. It's
he's
nuts.
If he's not walking right now, it's only because they haven't put him on the ground. The kid is very clearly right on the cusp of it.
There's a moment here where Vin Diesel cries, and apologies. I apologize to Vin Diesel if this is not true and this is slander. But I think those tears are CGI.
Everything else is
because they both form at the exact same time, and they are lit.
The ducts are frozen with botulinum toxin.
They are lit too evenly and too nicely. I'm like, there is no way in hell that both those tears were illuminated by that light source in that exact way at the exact same time. I'm like, no way, buddy. Those are some CGI ass tears. They've gotta be. They've gotta be. It was a fake tear. No shade. Crying on camera is difficult, and it's hard to do it on cue in a production schedule. But I'm like, you need better CGI tears.
You can always tell because it comes out the middle of the eye.
Dom puts his cross necklace on, I guess, the side of the cage.
His blessed amulet that grants him mortality.
He hangs it up near them.
His amulet of protection.
His blessed amulet. Wow, that doesn't do it great.
And so Cipher is like, okay, so fucking get to work or what? Like choices, you know, like I made the choice to get this haircut.
She's like choice theory. You're making a choice right now. Do you want to continue doing the Fast and Furious movie? And he lays out, look, even if I killed you and everyone else in here, you need 2 people to turn the keys to let me into the fucking cage with my wife. So no matter what, I don't have a choice. And Tormund Giantsbane comes over and goes, I'm in Game of Thrones. And you're like, okay, that's cool. That's really nice, man.
Yeah.
Back at headquarters, Frank is like, he's in New York. And they're like, how do you know that? And he's like, it's some bullshit. I read the script.
And annoyingly, I did the joke of calling it the Car Intelligence Agency last time, and it's a way better fit for this time because they take them to the secret CIA garage.
Yeah.
Where they have the cool CIA cars. Jason Statham.
They walk you in the room and they go, hey, listen, we made $1 billion on the last movie, so we can get any vehicle in the entire fucking world for this movie if you want them.
Jason Statham has my heart for like tapping the Land Rover Defender affectionately.
Yeah,
they do say these are all the cars we seized from drug dealers on the East Coast. What fucking drug dealer was driving around New York in a Land Rover Defender?
Someone with great fucking taste. That's who.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
If only there was an American way to say you should go down a Fat Burger and get a burger for
it doesn't exist. And the poverty of their language and culture is such that they can't even express an idea that's like basic to us. You know,
I really struggled over that.
There's a weird point here where Ludacris sucks off the troops.
Yes, holy shit.
Yeah. There's a remote-controlled tank, and Ludacris gives us 2 lines explaining what it is that feels like it's come straight out of a fucking recruitment leaflet. He's like, the United States Army is working on like remote-control vehicles to keep soldiers like safe while they protect us.
And
it's
alive.
Like, and alive.
There's a little like patriotic swell of music under this. Yeah.
Safe and alive.
The unmanned ground vehicle endorsed by Ludacris.
Wow. Hey, Army, be the best. Army smile. Armyjobs.com.
That's right. Wait, that's ours. No, this is endorsing the US Army, which is like, I don't even remember what their Army Strong.
Be the
Army,
worst. Army Strong.
Be the most deadly.
Defend Jeffrey Epstein. Kill,
Army Strong.
Army Strong, a tagline written by the Hulk.
Kill children, pedophile empire, kill all children and fuck them. Yeah.
Army Strong. Yeah, right, pal. Good luck.
Army stupid. Army can't even appreciate basic
in Britain,
themes.
we would express the like fat burger thing by being like, you can get go to Greg's, you can get a sausage roll.
Oh mate, you could get a cod and chips for fucking $5.
Sausage roll and beans for $2.99.
You can get a
gay boy
cod and chips for a $5.
Man,
yeah.
Somebody yelled "Batty Boy" at me the other night. I was like, "Oh, that's an old one. I haven't heard that in a while."
Like, where did you hear that?
Speaking of Britishness, Dom immediately. Speaking of Britishness, Dom's car breaks down.
Yeah. He pulls some switcheroo shit where he like fakes his car breaking down so he can avoid the cameras because they're using God's Eye to keep an eye on him, right?
Yeah,
and he gives them the slip,
like
and he goes in to meet.
button.
My notes say he goes to meet a British woman, and then in all caps, about 2 minutes later, it says, "Wait, was that Helen Mirren?"
It's that is Helen fucking Mirren.
Under a sort of sine wave of an accent, it is Helen Mirren doing. She's like if you sort of tried to perform My Fair Lady and also kept setting off flashbangs in the orchestra pit because she keeps getting distracted from what accent she's doing. It's meant to be Cockney, and then she just slips out of it back into Helen Mirren. She played the Queen. You can't. I don't care how versatile of an actor you are. I don't think you can do that and Cockney Sparrow. I just don't.
I'm not criticizing Helen Mirren publicly. I'm not fucking doing that. No way.
No, that would be so risky. Let me reveal something to you about this. Beck had an idea about what had happened here, and it turned out to be slightly incorrect. But we looked it up and we found out that Helen Mirren begged to be in this movie. Like she directly asked for this of Vin Diesel. Went to him like to hear her tell it to BuzzFeed at the time. She says, "I went on my knees and asked." I was like, "Vin Diesel, please put me in Fast and Furious."
The Helen Mirren,
hell yeah,
Vin Diesel WhatsApp is in itself one of the funniest things I could possibly. What do you think they talk about?
The follow-up question that BuzzFeed asked was it particularly because you wanted to work with Vin Diesel? And Helen Mirren responded, "Actually, it was particularly because I wanted to work with Vin because I just think he's so spectacular on the screen." He's just got something. He's a real movie star. Really nice to imagine Helen Mirren
nice.
watching the Fast and Furious movies and being like, put me in this fucking movie right now.
Calling my agent, being like, Chronicles of Riddick 3, let's fucking go.
Hell yeah. All right.
I love I'm so happy to hear.
Obviously, we immediately crisp and potato snacks that this is Frank Transporter's
it's his fucking mum,
innit?
That's Frank Transporter's mum.
So Dom makes some kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my mum. That is.
Oh, yeah.
That's me mum. Sorry, me mum, not my mum.
Because she's
Christ.
British.
Yeah.
And she's Helen Mirren is like, you can get a sausage roll and a latte for like $4.25. Gay boy.
Nowadays. No, fucking day. Gay boy.
Gay boy lives in my head specifically because of an interaction between Pete Doherty and Amy Winehouse, where she asks him. She asks him what his star sign is, and he says Virgo, and she calls him a gay boy, and that just lives in my head. I read that, I would say 15 years ago, and it hasn't left me. I miss her. Anyway,
Amy. Oh,
she was homophobic in the funniest possible way. I miss her so much.
Also, we find out back when The Rock and Frank Transporter were doing some more wrestling promo that like Frank was recommended for the Victoria Cross.
Yeah,
because The Rock's read his military
so was Ben
file.
Robert Smith. It doesn't stop him from being a bad guy, right? Like, he doesn't. Clearly, we've seen, but no,
Lifetime Bitch Award winner Ben Robert Smith.
That's right. Yeah, no, because The Rock has like a thing.
That's for the Australians out there.
Lettermarked Windsor Castle, like it's the White House, presumably from the, I guess,
from
then
the Queen.
It's so funny that the Americans don't know how our system works.
Transporter.
Like, seeing, I heard that arise,
Victoria Cross.
Arise, Sir Frank Transporter.
For services to the realm.
For transporting many children to my son Andrew.
Which I knew about.
Which I knew about the entire time I was alive.
Paid $1 million of hush money to Virginia Guthrie's family. Look it up.
Whole time was paying off.
And paid his legal fees whilst I was alive.
Look it up, it's all real.
This is like, you can't libel the dead, so the Queen was a paedophile. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Basically, right, so like Frank Transporter, he's like working on this truck, and he's like, oh yeah, they did me the same way they did you. I was like, we were betrayed by our government, which means Nick Clegg did the plot of Rambo 2 on Frank Transporter. Can you imagine?
Yeah. It was, well, we said this on a previous episode, it was plastic bag tax, student tuition fees, and
Nick Clegg
kill
got to
Frank Transporter. This was a coalition fuckery, yeah.
Going over the Queen's head to Nick Clegg to be like, we gotta blacklist this guy.
This goes all the way up to the Queen. No, higher. Clegg goes direct.
Now he works for Meta. Or who the fuck does he work for now?
The Miliband brothers have got me in this.
Oh,
the two puppet masters have got. All right.
So like Dom has to go and like he has to heist a convoy, right?
Yes.
Which leads us to a question: is a limousine a kind of truck?
A luxury truck?
I never came down on the side of whether or not a bus was a truck, and I
Bus is a
think
truck.
that they are.
A bus is a mysterious third force.
A bus is a third kind of thing. A bus is like a wild animal that has sympathy for the trucks. Abby has gotten up. She's walking away. She disagrees with me so fundamentally. But I think the limo is on the car side. The limo is to the car as the bus is to the truck.
I think if you think of a VIP as a form of cargo, as distinct from like a person, then
Cargo.
I sure hope it does.
Sure does. Right.
Jesus Christ, we're such hacks.
You're listening to the Fast and Furious 8 episode.
Doing this podcast has ruined my brain so badly that when I saw... I literally have a note here that says, yo, is that the Met where Carrie Bradshaw got stood up?
Carrie Bradshaw?
Yeah, Mr. Big fucking got anxiety.
Also, that was the New York...
Mr. Big stood up... No, that was the library. That was New York City Public Library.
Oh, god damn it.
Carrie Bradshaw
Anyway.
got stood up. I'll have you...
You fake fan.
So the Russian The Russian Minister of Defense.
Get her out of here.
Is in New York City, they say that you can get like a cup of coffee and the like "we are proud to serve you" cup and a slice of pizza for $5.99. Faggot.
Yes. For no real reason, as far as I can tell, I'm sure the movie tries to tell us, the Russian Minister of Finance is moving through New York City with the nuclear football now.
Defense.
Oh well, that
makes a bit more sense.
That makes a little bit more sense, but
in a big convoy,
surely
which
I
I
still
think
wouldn't bring that to New York.
Does make the limo kind of truck aligned.
Yes, I would say a convoy confers a sort of a truck-like status to the car. Yes,
I like this plan
because like in particular, there's a formation like it's like the limo in the middle and like 4 Suburbans in a quincunx. So like that would suggest to me that the center point of said quincunx is a truck.
Yeah,
I do like this plan though, because Charlize Theron engages hacking mode. And she turns on the self-driving of like every car within a 20-block radius, and then just like self-drives them to attack mode, which I really like.
She's like go Die Hard 4 mode.
Yeah.
I actually had some problems with this because a lot of these cars are CG, right? And I was upset about that in the early parts of this, but by the end of the scene there are so many fucking cars that it's like zombies from World War Z, right? It's funny to me at that point. Like it's good.
There's a sort of gradient, right? Because it starts and they sort of have like the inverse of the car PG, right? They make the car go from nothing. And this starts as like, oh, Jeeps are driving out of the Jeep dealership with the Jeep logo prominently thing. And then it gets a bit more and you're like, oh, you're doing like the really triumphant end shot from like a Fast 2, but like, you know, CGIing it, which I don't care for.
But on the computer instead of actually having cars.
Then it goes up a bit more and then it's Tom Walker playing GTA 4. Then it goes up a bit more, and then it's the cars become a liquid.
Yes, the cars become cop liquid, and it's good.
That's when it gets kind of good again.
Like, okay.
It also features my favorite genre of anything: sad cop siren when a cop car is damaged.
Yes.
Gets 2 of those, and I loved both of them. So the convoy diverts to avoid the sea of cars. At which point Cipher starts like reversing cars out of a parking garage to drop cars on them from above, like Car the Happening.
Unfortunately sick.
That is cool.
It's won me over by this scene. Yeah.
Car the Happening, my least favorite White Wolf RPG, got to the punchline eventually.
God damn it. Okay, that's really. I'm so sorry. I stopped. It's weird that Chuck Wendig wrote that actually. When you look into it,
this is now AI slop. Genuinely,
this is now just
it hits the language of AI, even though it wasn't made with it. Almost exactly. And part of the reason why is CGI, but another part of the reason is gimbals, right? Like we got too good at stabilizing cameras.
Yes, you're so right.
There are a bunch of really like smooth moving camera shots from car to car where it's too good.
Way too good.
It
doesn't feel like you're in the car going at that speed because you're like completely stabilized.
And this also explains why AI feels like this, is because this is the kind of thing it was trained on.
You're so right about the gimbals.
The other big problem is that like all of the cars are CG, but all of the crashes are practical. Every single car becomes real at the time it slaps into something, but until then it's just like on the computer.
It's genuinely, they do some really impressive physical stunts again, but in a way where it's sort of like in such a false way otherwise that everything around it really robs it of the thing. It's like, for instance, right, I work really hard to turn off the motion smoothing on anything I watch anything on, and then this fucking movie puts it back in. You know, like it's all deliberately very smoothed.
Smooth your motion for you.
Your camera crew was so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Yeah, so they immobilize the convoy in the sea of cars. Dom saws his way into the car and threatens to burn them alive.
Mask. He's fully under the control of the symbiote. He's got a cool mask. He's got a big saw. He pulls out a road flare and he's like, if you don't give me the codes, I'll stick this up my ass.
Pretty good.
It's like, well, we shouldn't give him the codes because I kind of want to see where he goes with it.
Like, hold on. But he's going to hand over the codes and the Minister of Defense is like, hold on. Let's see if he does it.
Let's let him cook. Oh, he's gonna cook.
They haven't
us.
even played the game yet. Let's just see. I do like that the plan is to, like, after all of the AI, like the car crushing thing, is just we'll just send in Dom to go get it then afterwards.
Yeah.
He just walks across the top.
Yeah, we'll payday the heist. Yeah. So they
Like
give him the
concrete
nuclear.
saw and just
They
takes
give
it
him
out.
the nuclear football.
Yeah.
And he's driving away in the Zionist Charger. The others then converge on him, and Cipher's like, okay, you're on your own. My next question is, if Jeep sort of kicked in what I hope was a lot for all of the shots of the pristine Jeeps, this one is really brought to us by the industrial cables industry.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Shout out to cables.
Yeah.
How much did cables kick into this? Because every one of these cars has a harpoon, and they they predicament bondage Dom
They
Toretto's car with these harpoons, which leads to a really awkward line of The Rock saying, "Hold him, stretch him out."
Damn.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
We into the him pronoun there? Is that? I've been known to anyway.
Pick up your high strength tensile wire in the gift shop on the way out.
Dom's power level is too high, however. Dom activates the
Pulling
Kaioken.
Dom's car apart like a because what it is right is they're sort of stanced up pulling his car apart like a Mongol execution, and then Ludacris is like, we can't do it because his car's got 5,000 Cuban horsepower.
Yeah, he starts at 2, and then other members of the family will kick it up as far as
his
5.
power level is rising.
Oh, he's just so cool. We can't
5,
stop Dom Toretto. And he like pulls them around using his extremely powerful car.
Yeah, and then just
flips them
gets out of the car and runs.
Gets out of it.
And then he runs.
Jason Statham chases him down.
Dom just shoots him.
Dom fucking
he gives him the
slimes
nipple
Frank
piercings.
out, just like ba-bam.
Yeah, bam.
Yeah,
there you go.
He did kill hard.
2 in the chest. Yeah.
2 to the center mass. He's going down.
One each nipple. I'm not worried because consequences aren't real in these movies.
I'm like, he's not dead. Next.
No, they're going to use the Dragon Balls. They'll bring him back.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of Jason Statham.
Letty is like, you won't kill me, your wife, because you love me. And then he's like, no, but I know who will, is Torbjorn Giant's Bane.
Torbjorn Game of Thrones.
Torbjorn Game of Thrones. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Torbjorn from Overwatch.
Torbjorn from Overwatch.
He puts a gun to Letty's head, and then Dom puts a gun to his head. And they get the nuclear football and leave.
Stupid. Dom Toretto is a nuclear power now.
Yeah.
Dom Toretto is aware of like what happened to both Ukraine and Libya when they gave up nuclear weapons voluntarily. Dom Toretto is getting a seat on the UN Security Council.
Nukes. Sovereignty
Can I ask
and
a question that the answer to which may be classified?
Yes, absolutely.
Can the Russians not just change the codes?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good question. I don't know.
That's the first thing I'd have done.
Yeah.
I'd have done that the moment the convoy came under
when
attack.
Your credit card gets stolen. Be like, okay, I actually got on the phone to the bank and cancelled that nuclear football, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
I went into the bank physically, and they were like, "Don't you have an app? What the fuck are you doing here?" They were like scared.
Have you ever tried upgrading your phone on EE? Their website just doesn't work. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to go in and install. Anyway,
I mean, I would. That's what I've done. I also have a thing like if as soon as they try and open it, it just tells us where they are. Like,
or put like a fucking a dye pack in there, like Dom Toretto entirely blue, just like in the plate.
He looks like he's in the Blue Man Group now.
Yes, the extremely muscular blue man on stage.
Yeah.
Is that Dom Toretto?
Helen Mirren's like, I've got to be in the Blue Man Group.
So he tries to give Cipher some more of his shit, right? And Cipher's like, okay, cool. Have you played every BioShock game?
Yeah,
because it's weird how they've all got this in there. I'm gonna like do choice theory on you.
Yeah. Oh, because you didn't kill Letty, by the way. I'm gonna kill one of your.
Yeah. And we make explicit here that women's role is to bear children who have value, and after women do that, then we don't have any value, right?
Exactly.
Like, so
unless we're evil.
Yeah.
They shoot Elena, but they shoot Elena off screen. They don't film it. She's just in the case, and they like zoom in. They gunshots, and it's just on Vin Diesel's face.
Unless you see like multiple like Charlie Kirk angles of a death in
She's alive.
Fast and Furious. Well, yeah, although I will say, if she's not, this is the only character then we would have bothered to kill properly, including the guy who died in real life, which
that
betrays a
true.
certain ideology. She's going to have a hell of a case of amnesia anyway.
She will. I realize he probably can't film like an on-screen execution of a woman in a way that like would work within this movie, but also like, I don't know. I feel for the actor. I'm like, if they're gonna kill me off on screen.
Let me do something, give me something fun to deal with it.
Give me a really cool death.
All I do in Fast 8 is stand in this cage and like heft a baby once. This is so fun.
Exactly.
She does some more like, you view family as a strength, but I view it as a weakness.
It's just chemicals in your brain, Morty.
Evil.
Yeah, it's just
great.
Yeah.
So at this point, Letty's like that. I recognize the guy from Game of Thrones. He's in Game of Thrones. He's an associate of.
Before we do this scene, there's one line that Dom has on the way out of this last scene where he says, almost inexplicably, "If I were you, I'd kiss my son." Which, what's up?
That's nice. Good. Yeah, good. That's just positive father stuff. Because he's the only thing that's keeping you alive.
Stupid.
The son calls him Dada, by the way.
Yeah, in the Letty scene, I did note Hobbs is walking past in the background with a dark red hanky in his left pocket. That's two-handed fist fucker. Receiving, not giving. No,
Legend.
Giving, not receiving. My apologies. My apologies to Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Hold him, stretch him out.
Hold him, stretch him out.
He's upset that Frank is dead. But Letty's like, that's the guy from Game of Thrones. He was around with Luke Evans when I was with Luke Evans in the previous movie. Also, he's a known associate of Jimon Hounsou. And so they're like,
really
okay.
sick. They're like, they just backfill story. They're like, she was the fucking, she was Vecna. Who gives a fuck? She was behind it all.
It was Spectre the whole time.
She was the source of all my pain, it turns out.
It's crazy how it's Spectre, Cipher, Vecna, like, it's always like a 2-syllable ass thing. Just like, that's been the author of all your pain.
When a movie series goes far enough and you're like, fuck it, there's a guy who was behind everything, by the way.
We stopped calling it the organization sometime in the 80s, and we should go back to that.
Moriarty. So, we lost the rights to the name Cipher, so we had to call it Number.
Yeah. By the way, Cipher's plan is she's got an EMP and the nukes, and she's going to steal some nukes.
It's Blofeld
and then she's she'll be world domination.
She is literally going to make the Western powers look like impotent beach boys. She's...
During the Cipher scene, we also get where she just like directly mentions those two things that they brought up as well. She's like, "It's those. By the way, it's because of those two things that I'm doing this."
So there's this military base. There's a nuclear submarine base in Russia, which we established has been taken over by terrorists. That has a submarine on it with nukes, and so she's going to use the EMP to break into the base, steal the nuclear submarine, and at that point she's a nuclear power.
I thought she had the anyway, but like also. We get some cultural insensitivity because they go, Russian names are kind of weird. Yalta, Poltava, it's like they just threw letters together, which...
Taking this from a man who calls himself ludicrous. Come on.
Yeah, but so we drive to a soundstage. I'm
amazed that we managed to find an excuse to mention Ludacris during the course of this episode because it doesn't fucking do anything.
None of them do. They've automation has come for my like Fast and Furious crew basically. Like
they put all the like movie lines in Natalie Emmanuel's mouth. Like
we put all the cars on a soundstage. Which leads to a really funny visual of an immaculate orange Lamborghini in a snowfield it could never have driven to, with no like tire tracks or anything.
No snow on top of the tires or anything, just like placed down exactly where it is.
JPEG just clicked and dragged that Lamborghini in because Roman chose a silly car.
It's not quite 2026. Not every single individual person is in a different room when they film this, but every layer of the composition is absolutely in a different room.
Yeah, so discount Chris Evans is like, here's what we're going to do. And then they don't respect him.
Yeah.
They respect him so little his character is named Little Nobody. Which,
they call him Little Nobody. Because of
Vin Diesel, Dom drives his car at the base, and in the base they go, "Yo, that's a car. Raise the anti-car barrier."
Oh fuck! They're driving a car towards us across the big flat ice.
Not a car.
Yeah.
But then he activates the EMP.
The anti-car barrier.
He does also take out a helicopter at this point, and the pilots definitely die in that explosion.
This is James Bond.
He kills these
now.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy how this is James Bond now. Also a bit the Avengers, but like,
I also love that they refer to these enemies as Russians one time, and someone, I didn't write down who,
it's the Rock.
Goes, separatists?
Yeah.
It's Russian separatists,
Technically,
by the way.
they're not Russian.
Modern Warfare 2, baby. It's not Russians.
Even
it's ultra-nationalists,
say,
okay?
technically, they're not Russian.
Technically, we're not making a film like a war against Russia.
So, like, the gang fight their way in, and, oh, hey, we haven't had our court-ordered Letty fights a female MMA fighter scene because they ran out of female MMA fighters after 2.
She gets to fight a dude.
She does.
She does get to fight a dude, but they film it like the dude is sort of like the villain in a like the rubber model of an alien or a monster in like an 80s movie, because the dude isn't ever really in the shot. Like,
no, he's masked up the whole time as well.
He's like gestured at more than it's quite crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of slightly strangely edited.
Yeah.
He's not a character. You didn't even get like the thing of like any previous movies of like, yo, it's Tony Jaa or whatever.
Oh, that's guy. But no, it's not.
No, it's not a guy who has a distinct thing.
What? You couldn't get a guy?
Yeah.
No,
like,
they literally couldn't get a guy. And so she just kicks him into a submarine propeller.
Like kills him.
Yeah. There's a hack off going on.
Yes, that's it. No, you're totally right, because instead of girl fighting girl, what you get is girl fighting girl computer.
There's a hack off. There's a classic old-fashioned hackers typing battle going on between Charlize Theron and Ramsay Bolton. Gordon Ramsay Gimp.
Gordon Ramsay
Bolton, yeah.
Melisandre.
Gordon Ramsay Bolton. Mm-hmm.
Gordon Ramsay Bolton. They're just going.
Finally, some good fucking hack.
It's just filming a fucking keyboard and like doing this on the keyboard and going, wow, she's good. Fuck off.
Compelling.
Hackertyper.co.uk.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Nothing at all.
At this point, I'm also thinking about another thing we're not getting a lot of, and I'm like, oh, they had Helen Mirren for one day.
Like, yeah, where's Helen?
We're gonna see her again later. Don't worry. She's gonna come back.
But they have to like she hijacks the submarine with some of them like aboard or whatever. They take some of the codes, and then we get a chase, like a 10 Cuban mile chase
across this big ice field.
They get to use the tank. Army be the best army.
They do, yeah.
Army be the best. Defend Jeffrey Epstein.
Fascinating detail that I think I might be the only person who would pick up on watching this, which is
fuck yes.
There's 2 details. One of them is that they've painted the helicopter and they've done a big danger in Russian decal that's like half the size of the helicopter, which is really funny to me. It's just like, yo, danger.
This is the danger helicopter.
Danger. The other one is, so the chase is towards the sea lock, which is a big like gate, like a gate across the sort of entrance to the base. So the submarine's going to drive out under the ice, but they can close the lock, like a canal lock or whatever, to keep it in place.
Correct.
And we see on the screen that lock is like spelled L-O-C-K. I strongly suspect that what they have done is accidentally mishear sea lock like L-O-C-H, because that's what a bunch of submarine bases in Britain are or were on, right? Like, Fastlane is a sea lock in that it's a lock that connects to the sea, which is why it's a good place to build a submarine base. And they have heard that explained to them and gone, the sea lock. Yeah, the thing that you open and close so the submarines can get out. Yeah. And that's such a specific mishearing that it's like, it's almost beautiful to me.
So is a sea lock, L-O-C-K, not a real thing?
I mean, on like the Panama Canal or whatever, but like I've never heard of one in conjunction with like a submarine base, but I have heard of a sea lock in like construction of a submarine base. So
you think, of course, they would have heard that because they filmed a bunch of them in Glasgow.
They filmed it in England. This shit was filmed in Iceland.
Somewhere out there's like a junior assistant producer on these who's like listening to us recap this. He's just gone, oh no.
Yeah, you fatally impacted the plausibility of Fast and the Furious. So Roman like his like a
sea lock.
A rocket or something goes off and like breaks some of the ice, and Roman Pierce's beloved car almost becomes his grave.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
He almost drowned in an orange Lamborghini.
By harpooning the door off, and then he's being towed on the door It's kind of fun. My notes say they do not respect Roman Pierce, but then Roman steals a gun and kills some guys.
They also don't respect the goons. Because genuinely, right? This is a fascinating detail of how much they half-assed this. The guys shooting at them are so little of a threat that in half the shots, they don't even bother putting gunshots in the mix.
They don't put gunshots in the mix. There's a bunch of shots in like the rear view mirrors where they forget to put all of the guys that are chasing them. Like it's just nothing. It's like a joke. Yeah. Nothing's real.
Orcs.
They're on like, and again, they're on a pure white, like fucking flat plane as well. So it's just the animus generated this whole fucking battle. Nothing's real. Like it's just
beamng.drive is going on. Yeah.
You would hate to be the ephemeral goon.
Like you're not even doing anything, really.
No, but so they try and pay off the like we have been
What's the opposite of a Kronstein Rosette. These guys didn't even turn up to reality a lot of the time.
they try and like back out of like workplace bullying Roman for the last 7 movies by being like, oh, by the way, he is John Wick though. Like,
remember when he shot people?
He can shoot people.
That time.
He shoots like people. 3 guys really quickly, which is cool. Cool. So Dom is posted up with Torbjorn Giantsbane.
Yeah.
And fucking, he's like, I got a sniper rifle. Who do you want me to shoot first? Because I'm gonna kill him from like a Cuban mile away.
Yeah.
And Dom is like, I don't shoot people from a Cuban mile away. I like to look people in the eyes from about 15 like Cuban inches when I'm thinking about killing them.
Exactly.
But they've still got his kid on the plane, so he can't do anything. But then two brothers in a jet suit.
2 men who are definitely brothers and grew up in the same geographical location in a way that becomes really obvious when you place them together in the same
makes
scene.
A lot of sense, really, when you can hear these 2 accents play off each other.
They attack Charlize Theron's plane, and it's Frank Transporter and his brother Luke Evans.
It's Luke Evans Transporter, it's Luke Transporter and Frank Transporter, and they're here to fucking save the day.
Welsh and Cockney. We get a little flashback where they shot Frank Transporter, but they faked his death with help from the 2 Spanish guys back in the movie. And Helen Mirren is Frank's mum, and the Cuban guy also helped. The Cuban Vegeta, he was here too.
I know actors aren't allowed to like complain about anything ever, but like it's gotta feel pretty bad if you were like those 2 guys and you get a cameo and everybody else in the previous movies gets a job for life.
Yeah, but like you can be in a couple of shots, whatever.
That's a little rough. But
if I'm honest with you, I looked at these guys' names, and in the credits, there's a bunch of like assistants with their surnames. So I got to assume that they got their money some other way.
Yeah. My question, just to circle back,
relatives in. Yeah.
Just to circle back on the Shaw brothers.
Talk to me about the Shaw brothers.
If sometimes Cockney Helen Mirren was their mum,
Cockney Helen Mirren,
who the fuck was their dad? Dylan Thomas?
Yeah.
Like Michael Sheen?
So what the fuck is
Anthony Hopkins?
What the fuck is Jason Statham's fucking accent? Actually, does Jason Statham sound like at this point?
Jason Statham.
I've genuinely forgotten what his accent.
Jason Statham sounds like 5% Cockney, 95% Los Angeles.
Yeah, so it's okay. So at least Helen Mirren definitely raised Frank Transporter. I don't know what the fuck happened to his brother. Maybe he just got sent away to Port Talbot.
He went to boarding school.
Raised by their in-house Welsh au pair.
Boarding school in Wales.
Boarding school in Port Talbot. You're going to learn to be a steel worker, brother. Get out of there.
This is when the others learn that British people, like cops, have family.
British people have family as well. It's crazy.
We do.
Yes.
This is why we love our mums, and sometimes even our brothers, even though they were raised at the opposite end of the country in an entirely different dialect of English.
Entirely different country.
To be fair, Helen Mirren can't stick in the same dialect of English across one sentence in this. So,
which is crazy.
That's your opinion.
Because she played the Queen. How could she not do this?
Yeah, she's their Cockney mum.
Oh, because the Queen is like the hardest acting job.
Me mum. Oh, okay. The Queen is the ultimate acting job.
Wow.
Well, while she was alive,
I don't know.
definitely.
That seems to be what you're implying. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. If you could do an accent for an entire movie,
you'd be so good at acting to do the Queen.
So Frank secures the baby and calls it in.
There's
At
a
which
kind
point
of cute bit where he's having a gunfight with the kid and he's taking care of the kid, and it's played for comedy. But Jason Statham is like so legitimately charming that it doesn't.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, the kid's probably going to get traumatized seeing that many people get shot, and also is going to get like shaken baby syndrome at the age of 3.5. But like it's still fun. It's cute. You know?
I don't respect the attempt to baby Yoda Vin Diesel's kid in this movie. That's because that's what's happening. Like, here's our cute child character, and there's a bunch of like reaction shots of the kid as well during this fight scene. It's like he's in compositions making like faces to respond to like Frank Transporter's
I'm pretty sure
action.
he does the Hitler salute at one point.
Yeah, he does do that, and it's a really weirdly CGI composite Hitler salute, baby. Yeah,
I think at one point Frank is just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm pretty sure they CGI the baby doing the Hitler salute.
Yeah, it's literally like a
that.
thumbs up. Yeah.
But because he's radioed it in, Dom is now no longer under the influence of the Venom symbiote, so he fights Torbjorn Game of Thrones.
Yeah. He's
During
like,
the fight, and this has to be the episode art, Vin Diesel makes the funniest fucking face I've ever seen anyone make in my life. There's like 3 or 4 frames where he looks like the moon from Majora's Mask. It's so fucking... It's so good. It's so good, man. It's kind of
most of him can't move, you know, so the bits that do are like, you know, very,
they really
very
move. It's an incredible face, but he kills Torbjorn Giantsbane and he's like, that was for Elena. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, sick, man.
And then he switches side and takes out the whole convoy on his own because he hits a missile truck and blows it up.
I feel badly that I don't have the drops because there are so many Dom and sub lines in this because Dom is chasing a sub and Cipher is yelling at him the whole time. Dom becomes car Jesus again.
Yeah, he
because
does.
He fires the submarine fires a heat-seeking missile and he tricks that missile into locking on the submarine, which submarines emit, I guess, a lot of heat.
There's a lot of Marvel ass lines that are like, that's not good. No, it's not. I'm
it's
like,
so ass.
They give Michelle Rodriguez like 3 Marvel lines in a row, and it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wrote down, stop making her say these things. I'm trying to defend her. At this point, it's hard to get excited about a sequence that started out with them walking in the room being like, all right, we've done tank, we've done drone, what's bigger than that? And they decided submarine and then decided everything after that. They're like, this is
you
what
also
has
know
to
that the one
happen.
after that is satellite, and then we're gonna get there.
Satellite, oh fuck yeah, baby!
So yeah, they are going to space. I don't know if I know that, but I believe that.
I think that's
believe
10.
that
I think
they do.
Dom is sort of like about to get blown up, but then his beloved friends' cars become his shield.
Yeah.
They sort of like nestle him in their sort of car embrace.
Yeah. He'd still suffocate when the fire around him consumes all the
he'd be going out like the Pompeii guy who died like jerking it.
Your car will become your sanctuary. Your beloved
That's so
car.
pleasing. Yeah, I hope so.
Oh,
I
that's
hope
nice.
so.
That's just living in your
to
car.
the average American.
Oh, well, that's less pleasing to me, but it's still.
No, the car is a sanctuary.
Frank captures Charlize Theron and reveals that Dom's blessed amulet of immortality contained a tracking device all along.
Yeah, nice of them to put a red LED on it that blinks.
Yeah,
so
and
you know
it blinks
it's doing something.
in every scene past this point, so you're like, it's got the LED in it. Really cool. I also like that she's,
for some reason, Kindersley Star Wars sort of like amulet of tracking powers,
amulet of tracking cutaway device.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron is directing this all from one of those planes that got destroyed on the El Saud airport a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, goddamn, yeah.
She jumps out of the plane with a parachute. She's like, I'll be back next time, Goku.
She just
defeated me.
Survives. Like Frank, and it's not even it's not even the family that deal with her. It's Frank Transporter.
Yeah.
Gets in a room with her.
He's just his own guy now.
This guy killed Han. Does anyone remember that? Like Han?
Yeah.
Han's... And our dear friend Giselle Yashar, played by Gal Gadot, sacrificed her life to keep Han alive.
Yes, she did.
And then you killed him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like neither of those two people is 100% real and will never be retconned. Sacrifice means nothing to you people.
Yeah. Vegeta blew up a whole planet.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So Dom is reconciled with Lassie, who is like, he's like, I never left you. Also, I have a kid from another relationship who's like 3 years old, going on 4 and half Brazilian.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell her. He doesn't tell her shit. Yeah.
No.
Thanks, sis.
Also, how does Frank get off the plane with Luke Evans? Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
Dom rescues them using instant transmission. Fine. Barbecue.
We go to a rooftop terrace in Manhattan. Ooh,
No, we don't. We go to a green screen
$1
studio. Yeah, we go to a green screen studio.
We go to a green screen location. Yeah, it's so bad.
Because they like blew up the house in Los Angeles, and also we've given up the pretense of this being in any way normal. So of course they have to have the penthouse rooftop terrace.
I just before we hit the penthouse rooftop terrace, I just want to highlight the Roman Pierce selfie moment at the end of the submarine sequence where he goes like, I gotta get a selfie, and takes a selfie. And it's like, were they trying to advertise selfies at 2017?
The square white boy is
Check out
yo,
selfies.
That's classified. And he's like, not anymore.
Taking a picture of yourself. It's got a name now. 2017.
Okay, great.
Sick. Yeah.
They're at the rooftop terrace. The Rock is wearing a leather vest. Like, between that and the fucking...
Yeah.
Only fit worse than just wearing Under Armour. What are you doing, man? You're awful.
What are you doing, man?
Fucking terrible.
Mr. Nobody comes to give him his badge and his gun back in a little gift box, which I hope when you become a cop, that's how you get it. You know, like I hope that you get a little sort of
beautifully wrapped.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm actually gonna be a dad.
He's like, no, I'm. This is my son, by the way. Frank Transporter arrives with his son, and he introduces everyone to his son.
He doesn't tell.
Yeah. They're friends now. And no point. Just don't be like, do you remember when you killed my best friend, Han? Do
you remember
here's another thing.
If you're my friend,
do we remember Elena, who The Rock used to work with?
What?
Because no one else does. Like, he doesn't tell them that she's dead.
Who does anyone think this child is out of? Like, it's Vin's kid, but like he just arrived.
This is my son in whom I am well pleased.
Do I think this guy was immaculately conceived? What's happening?
Yeah,
there is a funny moment where Dom introduces Letty to the baby, and like Michelle Rodriguez does not hold that baby. She's like, "Yeah, cool, man."
Yeah, interesting.
At no point is she's like, "I will love and raise this child." She's just like, cool, good for you.
It's very much giving like you were at the house party of a couple who are going to have an argument later. Like,
yeah.
Oh, a baby.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. We'll talk about this.
Things getting a little tense. Maybe in the kitchen. I'm gonna maybe sort of step outside and let you two.
They name the baby Brian.
Yeah.
After a guy who they won't invite to this, even though he's still alive and they're still friends with him, on the basis that hanging out with him would violate their solemn vow to not get him involved in any more like Fast and Furious type bullshit.
Solemn vow not to hang out with Brian.
They also didn't invite Mia, the baby's auntie. Do you think she'd want to meet her nephew?
This is sort of like getting yourself excluded from gambling apps. You know, like once you're out of the family, you're just out of all of them, and they're like, we can't get you back on. Sorry, no, it's statutory, mate. You're out. You know, you can't. If you can't handle them at your Lamborghini ice grave, then you don't deserve them at their block party rooftop.
Yeah.
I just can't believe Mr. Nobody's not the villain. Like, what is he doing? It's Mr. Nobody's the most villain-coded guy who's hanging out ever.
The CIA is quite literally invited to the cookout.
Dude, they're having like, we're a big family, and like at the table, at physically the table that they're like, this is the family around the table, is a fucking like black site guy wearing full black with his sunglasses still on. You're like, that's just our homie, the fucking secret torture site guy. He's our boy.
Yeah, you want to hold the baby?
Well, when somebody like marries into the CIA, you know, you get like CIA cousins and stuff showing up to the thing.
He can just hang. He's fine. That's a deputy director of a CIA or whatever.
The one CIA officer who can hang.
Doing second generation CIA literature where it's like, I don't really feel CIA or Dominican.
I don't think this family even does crimes anymore. What's happening?
Half the shit they do is on behalf of the government.
Yeah. They're just a superhero team now.
This is actually very apt in terms of like America, of like convincing yourself that you have sort of like outlaw spirit as you progressively become cops, as you become the police.
Yeah, shit. This is the fucking American.
This is like the fucking guy who was Thursday or whatever. Every cunt at this fucking meeting is Thursday. We're all just undercover cops now. No.
Oh.
Yeah, or
and
millionaires,
Roman Pierce is just there.
And Roman Pierce, who is also still canonically a millionaire.
And somehow Ludacris, who is getting fucking money.
Yeah.
Oh, and him and Roman Pierce have like an argument over Ramsey, and she's like, "You don't even know my name," and then walks away.
Yeah, because they're arguing over who gets to have Ramsey.
Like Bolton.
Like Ramsey Bolton Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And then the last thing that happens is Dom says grace. He says a very interesting grace. He says, support us and become a VIP member to remove all ads from opensubtitles.com.
Oh, is that like Presbyterian or what? Like, yeah, no, it's...
Which I fucking... Because the thing is, it pulls back and then his dialogue fades down to the subtitles end, but then the final subtitle file appears and just says VIP member to remove ads from opensubtitles.com.
Opensubtitles.com.
Why would you say this? The people were astonished by his doctrine.
Oh Lord, thank you for these blessings. Support us and become a VIP member to remove ads from opensubtitles.com.
That's what happened to get half these fuckers into the family.
And with your spirit.
They just became VIP members. It's like, okay, I guess you can hang out now.
What I love is the website I used to watch these movies doesn't always do that. It sometimes does that, and it gets me every
It's so
time.
funny every time. It's my favorite. The website I use for this is Amazon.com.
Yeah, same. This is slop for hogs. This is awful shit.
Sucks. This
I
movie
thought it was
so
better than the last one.
It was, but it was better than the last one merely because they've discovered that Jason Statham and The Rock have their own little side thing going on. And they're gonna
yes.
Yeah, they're gonna mind that.
It's not as misogynistic. I think the meat market shots, we only get one version of that in this movie, and it's kind of not as...
The reason why the meat
really?
market shots are weird is because the midriffs had stopped being sexy and asses had started, but they hadn't worked out the kind of visual language for that yet because they didn't know there weren't enough like hip hop videos for them to rip off yet. So
that's very smart.
like there are a couple of like lackluster ass shots, but they haven't gotten the sort of language to plagiarize yet. So watch this space, right?
Right.
Also, the thing about Elena is pretty fucking misogynistic, you know? It's just like, we imprisoned this woman whose only role is mum, who then like dies in sacrifice of like, you know, instead of her kid, you know?
What is the last thing Elena did? It was like 6 movies ago. Like the last time that she was a human being.
She got
with
a
agency.
letter of recommendation from The Rock.
No, that was last episode to try to get her out. Like
she helped save the baby, Paul Walker's baby.
Oh yeah, she took it when Mia was coming back to London,
the Elena dimension where she exists when she's not doing
this.
Anyway,
it's not good to do this. To your female characters.
Have to do this subjectively because we have a science-based system. It stands. It's called. It stands. The scum system. It's SMUM for cultural exchange. Yeah, James Bond is having a strong
misogyny.
It's called the SMUM. It's fucking hell. It's called the scum system. It stands for SMUM. Cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny on a scale of 0 to 7. How smarmy is Fate of the Furious?
Where is there left to go up? Tell me where there is left to go up, and I'll tell you how smarmy Fate of the Furious is.
I don't have my original notebook, so I have the scores, the final scores we gave for Fast Movies, but I don't have the breakdowns of what was what in front of me because I left it. Because listeners, I'm currently in undisclosed location for quite some time, and I only brought the one notebook with me. But I'd say, what do we give this movie?
8. Easily.
8.
Oh my God.
Is it really in the punitive zone?
I think so.
Really?
So often they're saying lines like, we need to get our fucking shit fixed. So
you keep your car. I'll take your respect. 8.
Very smarmy, but is it punitive?
I think so. I think we have to be.
I'd say 7.
Okay. I'm happy to put it at 7, but like it is smarmy.
Right.
7, fine, okay.
You've got the deciding vote, Dev.
This is difficult. 8.
All right.
Put it in the punitive zone because there are a bunch of lines that I didn't write down, but they may be fucking sick to my stomach.
Cultural insensitivity.
It's an interesting one here because Cuba is a country with people and cars.
Yeah, it's post-textual to describe what's being done to Cuba now because this was done after Obama had been like, you know what, maybe Cuba aren't terrorists during the brief 3-year period where you could trade with Cuba. So the thaw. It's like kind of it's almost positive.
It is. Yeah.
And once again, we have a multiracial crew.
Yeah.
We're not being quite as like culturally insensitive about other people's. I mean, like Germany and Russia are just kind of like locations in this, and the bad guys are bad guys.
Yeah, Russia is like the more kind of foreign one, I guess. But they and I think it is really insincere and smarmy, which is why it's kind of punitive to me to be like technically not Russian. But that means it doesn't ding as high on cultural insensitivity because you're kind of
true.
Like taking that off. It's got to be relatively low, right?
Yeah.
Like,
other than Cuba, like they hang out in New York, Berlin, and Russia? ? Like
it's sort of like the same thing that's happened with the like ever since they did Abu Dhabi, right? Where it's like this is hotel. It's like 5-star hotel restaurant. It's like it's not from. Anywhere because it's now in the country of capitalism, the kind of international non-country of wealth, right?
You can just go anywhere. Like
it doesn't have any valence anymore, so it's got it's like 1 or 2, I guess, but in a bad way.
1?
Yeah,
I mean, it's still a multiracial crew, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not racist because it's kind of almost worse in some ways.
Well, hey. One Race Productions.
One race,
money.
One
life.
One race, one pop.
Let's
1 point.
get together and drag race, I guess.
One?
Yeah, one.
Unprovoked violence.
We're going to get a few moments like, it's not unprovoked because it was a fight to the death, but Letty throwing the guy into the submarine propeller is played for fun.
We kill a few German cops on this podcast.
Vin Diesel definitely kills a few of those guys with the EMP.
Retrospectively...
And the rockets.
Does it make it worse to be like, Jason Statham is now rehabilitated when he's killed all of those people in the past, but he's a nice man now?
It doesn't matter. Like if he could just be back in the fold, because none of them really like wrestle with this. None of them even say the name Han during this fucking movie. Like none of them even vaguely wrestle with the fact that this guy has like killed their friends before.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, he's fine. He's like good. There's a point where he like jumps to defend Ramsey from an explosion that's like really early on and seems really weird when it happens. It's like, what are we?
Yeah, that was slightly odd.
It is the kind of, it makes more sense as wrestling for it just to be a face turn, so it doesn't matter. But like,
if he's fine, then Han might as well be alive still, and Gal Gadot might as well be alive still as well.
Can you imagine if Han was still alive?
Can you imagine if...
Oh, that would be a real sort of like low watermark for the franchise.
That'd be a real problem if Han was still alive.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
If anyone was stupid enough to put Han back in.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll find out in 4 weeks.
I didn't know that. Okay.
No,
oh my
we're
God.
talking about something that won't happen because Han is dead. We've seen that like a bunch of times.
Yeah, because it would be ridiculous. Because it wouldn't make any
really
sense for a bunch of these characters if Han was still alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Han is dead, and Jason Statham killed him, which means we got to give it at least like a couple for that, right? To be like, as
like
much as
3,
Dom is
maybe?
hard Jesus, the redemptive sort of grace of Dom Toretto there is, I would say, extreme. Yeah, let's go. Even that, I don't know if it necessarily
4,
warrants 3.
Because they do
like,
have some pretty gory kills.
Let's go 3. I think.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
And misogyny. I think in some ways we've improved. A woman is a person for the first time in the franchise. I sort of
disagree that she is the thing.
Okay.
In as much as anyone in these movies.
Cipher is a person in that she's the villain of the movie, so she has to have like motivations, but the motivations are so surface. And Michelle Rodriguez is a person in that she's given all of Brian's lines to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's all like it's not enough. None of this is enough. I need these fucking characters to be real.
It's nice to have a female villain. Consider that James Bond still has never done that.
That is true.
I really, really want to sort of hit it for Elena, though. Like, for being like, this woman has value as a sort of bearer of children, and after that, not really.
It's pretty bad.
You know?
It's pretty bad. The meat market shots are not as bad as they were, and are also preceded by shots of just like normal people.
I don't know.
Hanging out in Cuba.
I think I don't want to. The meat market shots still make me really uncomfortable.
Same.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm saying I think it's improved.
Can we go like at least a 4, like an absolute like?
Oh, absolutely, at least a 4. I'm saying like a 6.
Okay, yeah, I could see 6. I could see 6 for this. I think.
Okay.
Dev?
Yeah, I can see that. Well done.
All right, 6. That gives it a total score of 18. So we have, in fact, peaked and improved.
Yeah, it's the
because
best one.
18 is the same score as... No, it's not. The first one was the best one.
Oh.
18 is the same as Fast and Furious 2. So we are coming back down again.
Okay.
Interesting. The fever has broken, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, with Fast 7 on 26, which was a hell of a score. We've now come down. We've improved quite a bit.
I don't think this even gets technical Kronsteins. I don't think anyone even attacks.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no awards, there's nothing.
No, wait, Owen Shaw gets a technical Kronstein for hijacking the plane that he's in, even though that's why he got on the plane.
Yeah. If we had an award for a henchman not actually even existing in the movie, I'd give it to the Russian guys, but we don't, because that award also doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
Ghost him.
Ghost Kronstein to this guy.
Him.
Would you like to hear what the budget and box office for this movie were?
I would.
All right, the budget for this movie was $250 million, same as the last one.
God.
And the box office was $1.23 billion. They crossed $1 billion yet again. This was the 11th highest movie. This is like the 6th most expensive movie ever made or something like that. Like that.
Wow. But a lot of that is just like paying The Rock.
That is true.
For real.
A lot of the most expensive movies ever made were made in like last 5 years because of inflation. That's just the way of
just
things.
Kind of bloat, you know?
Like still. 11th highest grossing film of all time at the time of release was this movie. So you better fucking believe that they made not only a direct sequel that was originally planned but ended up getting delayed until after COVID, but they had a spin-off called Hobbs and Shaw about just our beautiful friends Frank Transporter and Luke Hobbs.
Are we going to watch that one next, or are we going to do Fast
That's the
9?
one that comes out next, and it ends up being canon, so we have to.
So what it's going to be is Hobbs and Shaw,
F9,
Fast 9,
FX,
Fast 10.
That's it. And then
we're
live
show Fast 11 at some point in the
when it comes out. Yeah,
I think it's due to come out in 2028. It says
and then after that, we're on the same gravy train that everyone involved in these movies is.
Yeah, every time a new one comes out, we'll just do a live show.
We are recurring characters.
Yeah, we'll do a live show and we'll make £2,000 easily from that.
It's not about making money; it's about having fun. We're judo-canonical to the Fast and Furious franchise at this point now.
Until I get cast in it for real, at which point,
they call us Los Desperados or whatever the fuck that one was called.
Yeah. So that's Fast 8, Fate of the Furious.
That's Fast 8. How do we feel?
Bad. I feel bad. Listen, Be Gay Solve Crimes, right? I did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, a movie with like 3 sexual assault scenes in it earlier this afternoon. It felt like being scoured. I feel belt sanded. I felt like I'd drunk a pint and a half of Listerine, and then I had to come and do this. So no, I don't feel great.
How fucking good is Girl with the Dragon Tattoo though? Christ, check out that
episode. The episode, I would say. What's the next bonus gonna be?
The next bonus, baby, that's fucking Big Trouble in Little China.
Have you seen my Letterboxd review for that?
I haven't, no.
My Letterboxd review for that is 5 stars, liked. This happened to my buddy Devon once.
Hell yeah. No, this is one of my favorite movies ever made, I would say.
Okay, all right.
And remarkably fine for a movie made in the 80s about like San Francisco's Chinatown, remarkably unracist. You could show a child in 2026 and they wouldn't even get mad.
Yep.
Right. It's good. It's really good.
So hyped for that.
Thank
Truck
God.
Season. Listen,
Trucks
you gotta
are real.
stay alive to the possibility of eternal war between Trucker and Carmen.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Keep that in your mind at all times.
That's what we're getting out of this.
That's what we're about.
Truck, car.
Truck,
buses, limos, who knows? Helicopters, don't even talk to me.
No,
Truck and car.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. That's
wonderful.
A fucking podcast.
This has been lovely. We will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next episode in 2 weeks' time is, as stated, Hobbs and Shaw. But if that is simply too long for you to wait, then once again, as stated, you can head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/KillJamesBond, to sign up today for as little as £5 a month to get next week's bonus episode, which is Big Trouble in Little China. Which is just authentically a great movie and one of my favorites ever made, and a great text to understand the soul of the truck guy. And without further ado, speaking of course of our beautiful Patreon supporters, we would be nothing without our £15 and above Patreon supporters, and those are Lo Bjornsdottir, Fenris, Mayday, Candy Fox, No Name, Gustavo Lira, Elspeth Hunt, Jordan Gammy, Nick Boris, Frankenstein, Hannah Oberhard, Gil the Gilded Dragon, Hate, let me tell you about Hate, pretty good, George Rohack, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody, Moro Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, Labor Delenda Est, the coordinates to, what was it the coordinates to? It's like a Denny's or something, in Swansea. Lexi the Feral Trucker, Vindication, Ian is Staying Dead This Time, Giganta0234, Library Hitman, Olivia Alexandra, Willie Shinmeyer, Very Tired Therapist, Max Gemainhart, Jack Drummond, Strong Goose, Kill James Bond, Highlights, Saiga, Trip, Carl S, Joseph Soche. I had Stephen Miller as a pedophile, isn't that crazy? The Project, Panoptigoth, Future Boy, Meat Popsicle, Jacques Laurent Zimmerman, Guinevere, Must Be Zip Tied, Tori loves her girlfriend and her girl boyfriend, Not Reals, Vinifera, Pop Vector, Shah Aznable, Twink Death Crash Out, Asherin, Cosmic Parking Lot, Chelsea Rose, Cassie's less cool little brother, Robinson projected as pronouns are here and there, Selenaya, Dank Jorts, Princess Reese promises not to bark at loud noises, Reese just wants Devon to read their name. Hello, Reese. Rhododendron, K May Be Okay, Athena V is Furiouser and Furiouser, Molly Powerslide, Ashley Full Name Time, The People's Pillow Princess, Now! There's a lot of exclamation points there. Danielle, Silly Vixen, Vita Brava, Chris Roth, Arizona Frog Strangler, My Family Astronaut Parasocial Butterfly, It's Coming. Claire, Joyous Ubu, Stas, Maeve Victoria Roth turned in her badge and laptop, Liz Rossi, Claire Baker, Helps People Help People, Robert De Niro in Heat and I'm Not Apologizing, Penis Bearing Vaginoplasty, Pit Crew Trans Am 2 streams from May 22nd to 24th, benefiting Trans Lifeline at twitch.tv/Thai Tuesday. Science Daddy, Gender Swap Podcast, Ray, Anhedonia, Some Sort of Silly Canadian Creature, Cacoden, Fate of the Rubius, Dr. Mrs. the Gay Rat, Saturday's Claire, Finn Ross, Lady Houndstooth, 623, Chimp with a Sword, Krista Swisher, Daniel, Britain, Commander Freddy, Slut Kevin, Mortran, Anya They Nanigans, Rope Trick, Clarification, Clairvoyance, John 2089, Liz and Ash at the University of Florida, Alex, Connor's Cool Big Sister, Walscott, Lady Ariane, Sengshen, Isopod Gal, Ohana means family. Obsidian Polymer, Noblesse Oblahai, Loz Pycock, Lauren Baston, Elite Aaron, Carriat, The Duck Whisperer, Turfs Eat Shit and Die Alone, Mega B, Philippa is still catching up with KJB, Blunt Force Feminization, Bat, Mistress Angela, Aylis, Abigail, Al Owing, Harriet, McAvoy, Jack Burton, Sick, Moccasin Boots, Josh Simmons, Zoe Shepard, Talkative Tiger, Emily, Queen of Slots, Cassandra, Robert Greensmith, Charlotte with a D, Sonia with a Y, Meryl is not a vampire but she is very pretty, Valeria Beneficia, Lurking Lesbian Bog Witch, Armored Contempt, Tech Priestess, Anthem, and Tiny Lily. Thank you all so much for your support. Ooh, shit. And the Canadian Socialist Rifle Association is a fun and engaging place for Canadians who remember Devon's promise. Nearly missed that one. Kill James 1 is November, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Miss Nebethay. Our editor is the Legiac, Sam Martirosian. Our podcast art is by John DeLuca. Our website is by Tom Allen. And I'm pretty sure those are all the names that I need to say in order to post the episode of the podcast. I love you all.